Hi, everyone. Thank you for the great introduction and the suggestions of new laws. But I'm going to talk about the accessibility law that we have in Norway. So we'll have to wait for another Nordic.js conf for the other laws, I guess. So I'm going to talk about how to generate colors using JavaScript and CSS custom properties. But first, I just want to tell you a short story. In Norway, we have two big airline companies. One is called Norwegian, and the other one is called SAS. And around 2 years ago, SAS launched a new website. It was, pretty nice. Seems, better. But it didn't go long before this happened. And this is two of Norway's biggest newspapers. And the headline is saying, SAS new website fails, and they might even risk fines. And that's because, in Norway, inaccessible websites are actually illegal. So to make sure that everybody follows the law, it's not just a law that we have, but actually it has effects. There is a state agency called Dynabyte. They will make random controls and publish their results online. So when a big airline company like SAS launched a new website, of course, Dynabyte will come and do the checks. And they did, and the result was, I think, they found over 180 issues they had to fix. So it was quite bad. And the law you have to be compliant with is based on BEKK. It's mostly the AA criteria. You can see the green boxes here. That's some of the things you have to follow. This is just a small part of the guideline. There is a lot more, but that's what we have to follow. And 3 weeks ago, this happened again. So SAS is still making headlines, and it says that if they didn't fix all of their issues within 10 days, they will receive fines. Daily fines for 150,000 Norwegian kronos, which is the same as the Swedish amount. So that's quite a lot of money. So it's not about a question of moral anymore. You can also risk bad press, fines, and if your website is too difficult to buy tickets at, of course you will go to the competitor. So you can lose your customer as well. So that was the law. This is my company. We call it Confrere. It's really difficult to say. Sorry about that. We are based in Norway. That's why we have to know about this law. So what we do in Confrere, just to give you a bit of context, we want to make super easy video calls. So it's straight in your browser. You don't have to download anything or become friends with the person you want to talk to. You just send the person you want a link. They can open it in any device they want. And there you go. Some of the customers that we have could, for instance, be physicians having video appointments, or it could be therapists like this, or just tutoring one-to-one. Common for all of these is they typically have a business before and a brand. So when they are offering services to their customers, they usually want to let them see their brand and know that that's the people you are talking to. So just to give you a concrete example, this is Siri. She's a midwife and runs a website which is called Everything for Mom, where people can ask questions about the pregnancy and the time after. And she came to us and asked, I would like to let people ask questions on video as well. And she already has a brand. So she wants that brand to show to her customers. But what happened if you let people pick whatever color they like? Because when you think of a brand, the first thing that probably comes into your mind is the brand color, right? So we looked at some of the apps that's out there, like Twitter and Intercom, and we tried to change the color to yellow. And white color on yellow is not the best contrast. So we sat together, all of us, and our CEO said we should let people be able to pick any color, and we just have to fix accessibility for them. And so that is the problem that we tried to figure out. So we have to look at the BEKK definition. So if you think of colors, intuitively they will have a contrast with each other. But how do you know that the contrast is sufficient enough? And the requirement says that visual presentation of text and images of text has to have a contrast ratio of at least 4.5 to 1. And for the new 2.1 guidelines, it also applies for interface elements like buttons and icons and such. Okay, so 4.5, how do we get to that number? If you look at how color contrast is defined, each color will have a relative luminance. It goes from 0, which is black, to 1, which is white. So to calculate the contrast, you can take the luminance of the lighter color and divide it on the luminance of the darker color. The small number here is just added to avoid dividing by 0 issues. And that will give you the contrast. So here we have a yellow button with black text. So if we take the luminance of yellow and divide it on the luminance of black, that will give us a contrast of 12.4, which is a lot more than 4.5. And to me, it really feels good to read that text. It's easy to see. So this feels right. We have a lot of customers within the health sector. And I guess, in Norway, at least, the health sector really loves the color blue. I'm not sure about Sweden, but maybe it goes for Sweden as well. So if we change the color to blue, what happens? We can't read the text anymore. But there's an easy fix to that. We can just change the text color to white. And there we go, it's easy to read again. But what about gray? If you think about the math we just did, actually any shades of gray will validate against either black or white. So yeah, there we have it, our solution. Now we just have to implement it. So me and Avgea, we sat down and tried to figure out how to solve this problem. And actually, what we just saw was some simple math. So what if we could do math on colors? And colors in computing are just numbers and bits, so we should be able to do that. And luckily, we are not the first people who have that problem. So of course, it's an NPM package for that. So we go ahead and use the NPM package called Color, which can manipulate and convert colors. It can rotate, mix, or check the lightness. You can test BEKK contrast and more. But this is in JavaScript, right? So ideally, we just want to do the calculation once, store it in a variable, and use that throughout our style sheet. And we can do that now with CSS custom properties. They will allow you to define variables. You can reuse color definitions. It's cascading, and it can be overwritten. So just have a quick look at how the syntax looks. So you define a variable using the double dash annotation and just assign it to a variable, and then you can use it using the var and the name of the variable. And in JavaScript, you will use it like this. So you call the set property function, pass in the name of the variable and what the value should be. And this could be also complex values, and you can use it in JSX. So back to our problem. We start by importing our color library and create an instance of that, passing in our brand color. And then we just do a light check. And if the brand color is light, we will set the contrast color to black and white otherwise. We apply it to our style sheet. And then we use it in our class like this. So we will set the background color to the primary color and the color to the contrast. So this is what we will have. Brand color, which is light enough, will have black text. And we also generate lighter and darker version of that color to have hover effects and such. And if the brand color is darker, we will change the color text to white. Sorry, the clicker is a bit slow. Yeah, the same. OK, that should be it, right? But no, our designer wanted more. What about secondary colors? And if you think of trying to explain to the user how to pick first one color and then another color that should look good together but different, and also try to explain what color we will use on what components, yeah, that will not be able to, that will be very difficult to make user-friendly. So this is what we want. We want to have a color that looks good with the brand color, but also looks different. So the solution we found was to use color wheels. So this is the HSL color wheel, which has 3 attributes, which it's hue, which is the degree from 0 to 360, and the saturation, and the lightness. So what if we rotate the hue? So we will pick a color on the top and just go 60 degrees down the wheel, and there we will find our secondary color. Now, the 60 degrees is just the gut feeling from our designer. It's not based on math or anything. It's just, yeah, 60 degrees sounds good. So to implement this in code, we used a color library again and call the rotate function that takes in the hue degree that we want to rotate the color, and we save it to the secondary variable. We can also use CSS for this part, but we wanted to stick to the library. So to bring it all together in the theme engine, so we have a lot of different rules. So the way we did it was to create a React component called theme, which takes the prop, the brand color, and calculates all the other colors based on that. So if you don't hardcode any of your CSS values, only use custom properties, that will give you a single style sheet, which is infinitely brandable. What is also a good idea to think about when you're using CSS custom properties is to have a nice fallbacks, so it doesn't feel like hacky. To use the component, you can wrap it like this around your app, and it will handle all of the calculations. And yeah, the children of that component will use the same results that the theme calculation is added up. So you still have the cascading effect in normal CSS. So if you want to, like, you can have multiple instances of this theme, so you can have a preview function kind of show people how the effect will be when you're changing the color instantly. So now we can say to Siri, you can now pick any color you like. And of course, Siri, she's a midwife. She shouldn't know about this accessibility law at all. That's our job. So this is how her site looks like. And here are some other examples with other colors. And then I'm going to show you a demo. If you want to test it out yourself, you can go to this link. Okay, so here we have our theme component. So we can pick any color we like in this color picker, and we can change it, and you can see that the color changes. And we also have buttons down here, so you can see where the text switches from black to white. And we also have this thing when the brand color is really light, we will add a conditional border around it, so you still can see the that it is a button. So I've been talking a lot about accessibility and the accessibility law, but it doesn't mean that we think that our job working with accessibility is finished, because it's never finished. It's like the other things that we do on the web, the code, the design, the UX. It's still changing, and we are still improving it, so accessibility should be a part of that work. And it really is a team effort. We will never come up with a solution if we haven't been working with it together. And we really love this law. We don't feel like it's something somebody are telling us to do. So yeah, and this challenge has, in fact, been really fun. So yeah, accessibility can simply be fun. There is the link again. There are some other resources. If you want to read more about accessibility, you can find the slides. And yeah, you can try out the color thing again. So that was me. Thank you.